I'm using this camera for more than 2 years now, and in this video I'm gonna tell you if this is the right camera for 2025. Let's get into it. Sorry, GERALD UNDONE. I like it. Quickly just go over some features, the good, the bad. We have a 24 megapixel sensor. We can shoot in 4K with 24, 30 and 60 fps. But at 60 fps you will get a 1.5, 1.6 times crop. So it's gonna be a little bit tight. At 4K 24 and 30 fps, actually it's a downsampled 6K image. We have 10-bit colors, but only when you're using the HDR mode. We have a really good built-in quality with this body. For me, it feels like nice, not as plasticky as others described, for example. It's quite a popular choice in 2024 or these days, so it's a huge advantage because if you go to the internet, then you will find tons of tips and tricks and tutorials and reviews of this camera. So it can be a good thing. We have a really good autofocus system. For example, I just want to show you. I think it's working pretty good, but it also depends on the lens what you use. I use the Sigma and they are quite good with autofocus. We have a nice LCD screen. You can position it everywhere you want. You can shoot horizontal, you can shoot vertical with it, and you always have like a clean view on the screen. I don't know if it's like a Pro or something, but you can always use EF lenses on the R10. It's an RF mount, but you can get an EF to RF adapter. But if you get the adapter, then you can use older lenses, and those lenses more often like cheaper, but it's basically the same quality. So I also use an EF lens, and as you can see, it looks good. And there are some features that I would like to have in this camera, but there's no chance for it, is for example the IBIS. So there is no image stabilization, in-body image stabilization in this camera. So yeah, for someone it could be a deal breaker. For those people, maybe the R7 would be a better choice because it has IBIS. And we also have no log profile. It's a very common thing now in these days to have like any log profile. Sony, Canon, everything to maximize your camera dynamic range. In the R10 we don't have it. I use the HDR if I have like a very bright and very dark scene at the same time. It does the job. And then we have no weather sealing. Compared to the bigger brother to R7, it has weather sealing, but this one is not. So yeah, I haven't tested like in any rainy condition or something. People say like you can go out if it's like just raining a little and it's not gonna be a problem. Yeah, I'm not gonna risk it. But it's a bummer. It's a huge con on the Canon R10 that it has only one SD card slot. So yeah, we can't talk about redundancy. You have one SD card in the camera. If it fails, then it fails. Then you lost all your footage, your work, and can cause like problem if you shoot for a client, for example. And then yeah, you can't. There are some occasions when you can't retake the shoot, for example, a wedding. And more professionals are using like dual SD card at least. So you will always have one more backup. It's a small thing, but we have no jack connection for headphones on the R10. So you can't monitor your audio through the camera with a headphone jack or with the headphone. There's a workaround. I use a Wheeltrock's external monitor, and then it has a jack input, so I can just monitor through the external monitor. So it's not a huge thing, I think. And also what I don't like in this camera is the small battery. It has an LPE17 battery. It's a really small. I can show you, it doesn't matter. It's a very small capacity. If you want to talk about like numbers, you can shoot with like 45 or 60 minutes or like an hour continuously, and then your battery is dead. So I use a V-mount battery and I can shoot for hours with one charge. Who is this camera for? This camera is perfect for beginner photo and videographers, people who would like to get a hybrid camera, so you can shoot photos, you can take videos with it, and yeah, for both, excellent. You can use this camera for like a YouTube setup like this. Just put it on the tripod and then hit record. I think the video quality is excellent. If you are like a vlogger, you can use it for that. Not with my lens. It's like 1 kilogram lens only, so with the setup would be, I don't know, 1 point something, and it's not convenient. And also, if you use like a 24-70, you always have to calculate in your head that if you use a full frame lens, it's gonna crop 1.6 times on the focal length. So a 24 would be like 30 something. So it's quite tight. And because it has no IBIS, no in-body image stabilization, if you're logging, maybe it can be like a little bit jittery and shaky. And actually, I don't mind if the footage is like shaky or something, because it's more raw, it's more real. We are talking about vlog, so you don't need that robotic movement. I think I could talk about this all day long, but I would also like to share my achievements with this camera, so maybe you can apply into your, imagine yourself in my position too. I started my own videography business with this camera only, and I actually generated money with this, and the money I earned with this camera I just spent for the camera. So I upgraded with accessories, with the film monitor, with the V-mount battery, with the microphone and everything. So you can actually earn money with this. But it's more like, it's not just about the camera. You have to know things to go out and shoot a video for someone, for a client. But that's another topic, and I'm actually working on it. So in the future, I'm trying to show you my freelance videography experience and how to start your business, or at least how I started and what's my struggle and what's my achievements, blah blah blah. Stay tuned for that. With this camera I was also able to learn the videography in and outs, so all the settings, all the rules, all the practical things, so I'm able to use that knowledge in my videos, so I can make like a movie or short movie, a feature film or anything. Of course, you will always have to learn more and more, but I learned a lot with this camera. And you can always use your phone to take videos, but with a phone you'll never be able to understand the basics of photo or videography, the settings. So you can set the shutter speed to 24 FPS and then the frame rate to 24 FPS, the shutter speed to 1/50th, and things like that. So you need a camera to be able to learn the ins and outs. With the Canon R10 or with the Canon RF line, Sigma just released a lot of new lenses with different focal lengths, with zoom lens, with prime lenses, specifically for APS-C RF mount. It's a huge thing because in the past, when we got the R10, for example, we only had the Canon RF lenses, and usually those are like the most expensive ones. And then yeah, we have the opportunity to adapt EF lenses, but you have to get the adapter for it, and then you can use Sigma lenses and all sorts of things. But with this new line, the RF line, they opened a very huge opportunity for R10, R100, R50, R7, R8 users, because for 2025 you can build a really good setup with the Canon R10. And I'm talking about like video quality, the whole setup, I mean by weight, by its compact size, and also for budget. I don't know about the price now, but usually the Canon R10 is in a good price range. And you can also get used ones, refurbished ones, and sometimes the brand new price is pretty affordable for someone, more affordable than an R7 or an R8. And I just checked the Sigma RF lines, and I have to say the price is pretty good. I have no numbers, but it's like, yeah, I just gonna it listed somewhere here. And we have, like I said, zoom lenses, like wide zooms, 10 to 18. We have an 18 to 50. And then we have like 4 prime lenses with like 16 millimeter 1.4 or 1.8. That's a huge thing. And yeah, so basically you can build up your perfect camera rig. So if you see a good deal on the internet about the Canon R10, just consider it, get it, use it for a year, practice, and then you can start thinking about upgrading, and then you will see. But I have to say, in my opinion, the R10 is much more valuable than the R50 or the R100. Although they are, of course, much cheaper than the R10, not much, but cheaper than the R10, but the R10 has more and more feature than the others. And at this point, if you still have like questions about this camera, this specific camera, just drop a comment. I always answer for everybody. And once you are down there and you like this video, just give me a like. And if you want to see more content from me, consider to subscribe. It means a lot. What do you think? This camera... Damn it. What do you think? This camera would be enough for you in 2024? Next year. What do you think? This camera would be enough for you in 2025? And in this video, I'm gonna show you what cinematic masterpiece you can create with this camera. See you there. Oh man. This table is sharp.